everyone, this is part 1 of 2 videos dedicated to enterprise, business growth and business size. The concepts covered in this video are enterprise, why government supports startups, the importance of business plans and comparing business size. An entrepreneur is an individual who takes the risk to organize and operate a new business venture. There are a number of advantages and disadvantages of becoming an entrepreneur. An advantage is that you have the independence to make your own decisions about how to allocate your money, time, and resources. Secondly, if your new business venture becomes profitable and successful, then you would have earned substantially higher than working as an employee at another firm. Moreover, at your own business, you would be able to put your own ideas and skills into practice. However, there are a number of disadvantages. Firstly, there's a risk of failure. This could be due to a number of reasons, may it be lack of motivation, lack of finances, or inefficient management. Secondly, there's an opportunity cost, that is, you're giving up on a steady income and a steady job working as an employee at another firm. Moreover, it would also be difficult to obtain finance for a new business venture, as banks are usually reluctant to give out loans to such businesses due to the high risk. Hence, the owner may have to use their own personal savings, which leads to unlimited liability. Lastly, entrepreneurs usually have a lack of experience and knowledge on how to operate a business, and they may find it expensive to hire experts and specialists in these areas. Now, let's go through the qualities of a successful entrepreneur. Number 1, they are highly hardworking. This is because it usually takes long hours to make a new venture successful. Number 2, they are risk takers. All decisions involve risk, and since most entrepreneurs invest their own personal savings into the business, that in itself is a high risk. Thirdly, they are creative, as they need to come up with new ideas for products and strategies in order to attract customers and to differentiate their brand to make it stand out in front of competitors. Successful entrepreneurs who need to be optimistic and have the ability to bounce back, as a new business may have many hardships, so one needs to be motivated and optimistic in order to be successful. A successful entrepreneur is also self-confident, innovative, independent, and good communicator. Now, let's look at why government supports startups. They do so in order to reduce unemployment in the economy, as new businesses tend to hire a large number of workers as they expand. Secondly, they do so to increase a country's output. New businesses are a large contributor to an economy's GDP. Startups also help increase competition in markets, and this is ideal as it leads to more choice for consumers and it helps keep the price and costs low and competitive. Moreover, some startups may have social and environmental objectives, which make them social enterprises. Objectives such as reducing pollution, and this makes it more suitable for governments to invest and help them. Lastly, they have the potential to grow, as MNCs also began as startups and they expanded into big corporations, making high profits and employing a high number of workers and paying high taxes. Next, let's look at how a government can help startups. Well, they could provide them with finance, as in bank loans, government loans at low interest rates, and grants to those businesses which decide to operate in areas with high unemployment. They could also offer advice and help by conducting workshops led by experienced entrepreneurs who can provide them suitable advice. Governments could also provide premises at low cost so that startups can afford them. Governments could encourage universities to make their research facilities accessible to entrepreneurs, and they could also provide finance and training workshops to enhance the skills of workers. Now, let's look at the importance of a business plan. A business plan is a document that includes business objectives and other important information about the business, such as its owners, finance, and operations. It also includes information about costs, location, and cash flows. It is important because, firstly, it helps gain finance from banks and lenders. This is because a business plan indicates to the banks that the venture is well thought through and planned, so they become more confident when lending them money. It also helps the entrepreneur plan better. As they make the business plan, they can identify resources and strategies that can help them make better decisions and reduce risks. Comparing size of businesses. So there's three ways you can do this. Firstly, you can compare the number of employees, or secondly, the value of output, and thirdly, the value of capital employed. However, each one of them have their limitations. When measuring the number of workers employed, this may not be entirely accurate, as some businesses may be more capital intensive while some may be more labor intensive. Secondly, when measuring the value of output, the limitation is that it can mostly only be used for businesses in the same industry. This is because, for example, a business that produces designer clothes may have a lesser output, whereas the less number of output would be high in value. The third method was to compare the value of capital employed. This is measuring and comparing the total amount of finance invested in the business. A limitation of this is that a business that is more labor intensive and hires a large number of workers may be deemed as a small business when we use this method. Whereas if we use measuring the number of employees method, the business size may be shown bigger. Hence, it is important to use a combination of all three of these methods, as each has its own limitation.